Hey guys, you're about to listen to Believe It or Not, and sometimes we say things that, aren't always the nicest.
Yeah, and sometimes we're not experts either because we just Google this stuff.
But you know what? That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're allowed to have opinions, and you're allowed to choose not to listen.
And you're allowed to leave angry comments on our Facebook page.
Please do.
Yeah, but if you do like it, rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
And if you don't like it, please rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Because you're a good person.
Yeah, it's what someone would want you to do.
I got hymns here. Get them while they're holy, fresh from God's brain to your mouth.
He's God here in this radio station. Smite me! Almighty smiter!
The Bible is black and white.
I have such doubts.
Get out of here, devil!
I'm a God, I'm not the God. I don't think.
And you will know my name is the Lord.
We're on a mission from God.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and welcome to Believe It or Not.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm Santa Trevor.
And I'm Elf Boy.
There we go. Yeah. Hey, everybody, it's Trevor and Damien here with Believe It or Not.
Hi. How you doing, Trev?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm all set for Christmas.
Yeah.
My shopping's done. My stockings are
stuffed
with stuffing.
Oh,
turkey? Yeah, turkey stuffing, and the turkey has all the little stocking stuffers in it. So I'm all ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
You probably mix those two up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But
I
don't know if someone brought a turkey onto the table. And instead of pulling stuffing out, you pulled out little presents.
That'd be all right, too.
And candy.
But, like, it would suck if they're, like, plastic
like
toys and stuff, and they all melted and ruined the turkey.
Yeah. And then, like, all the jelly beans and stuff melted.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be jelly beans.
There's always
chocolate.
Yeah, an orange.
I think jelly beans is more of an Easter candy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
For some reason.
In chocolates. Because it's kind of, like, shaped like...
Jesus' favorite food.
The lima bean. Yeah. That's a fun fact about Jesus that you can take home, tell your parents about.
He had a sweet tooth and he loved beans.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Christmas as a kid?
A favorite Christmas, like a specific year, you mean?
Or yeah, was there any specific Christmases that kind of stood out above the rest as like this was a really good Christmas?
I had some pretty good Christmases growing up. They were all pretty consistent for the most part.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't think there's any one that stands out as something exemplary, but
do you have a bad one that stands out?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, you mean like something horrible happening?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, there was one. This is family drama. I don't know if I should get into
I was
drama.
thinking about that today, too. It's like, I have one story that I'm like, I'm not sharing that.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with me, but I was witness to it, and I thought it was really funny.
You know the song, do you know Sufjan Stevens at all?
I know of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He has a song called "Did I Make You Cry on Christmas?" And one year I did make my cousin cry on Christmas Day.
Did you?
We were playing Balderdash, and Balderdash in my family ends up in people crying.
Like, that's like your Monopoly.
It's like our Monopoly. No, Monopoly makes people cry in my family too. So it's like Monopoly is like our
Monopoly.
Yeah. But yeah, so Christmas. Christmas is a time of happiness and joy. Also, there's been some fights over Christmas and some disagreements about what Christmas should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if our society is any indication, they're trying to destroy Christmas. Mm-hmm. There's a war on right now.
There's a war on
it's been
Christmas.
going on for a few years now. I don't know how many casualties.
Yeah. Can you imagine they made a cup red?
And they have to say happy holidays.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In my house, we're allowed to say Merry Christmas. There's actually a really funny clip. Someone was interviewing a Trump supporter, and they're like, what are you most excited for if Trump wins? And they're like, well, we'll be able to say Merry Christmas again. And he's like, you weren't allowed to say Merry Christmas? Where do you live that you weren't allowed to say Merry Christmas? And she's like, well, no, I always say it. It's like, oh, okay, so you are allowed to?
That's the weird thing about that whole argument is that no one says you can't.
Yeah.
It's just a corporate and like community things are going a little more neutral.
Yeah.
And that's not taking anything away. It's just
Yeah.
trying to be a little more inclusive. It's kind of like it's very akin to the you can't even flirt anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, are you sure you're flirting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you're just being a creep. Yeah, I worked at Starbucks
so-
when the red cup thing was going on. I think you did. You were working there at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And
then I quit because I wasn't allowed to say Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Well, this guy was like, "Are you going to say Merry Christmas to me?" I was like, "Well, it's November 6th, so probably not."
I was in the dollar store, and they had Christmas decorations up, or Christmas stuff up, in September.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they had one aisle for Halloween,
Yeah.
one aisle for Christmas.
And one aisle for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
All right. So
What are we talking about
we're
today?
going to talk about kind of how there's always been kind of a war on Christmas. So we're going to talk about just some of the different controversies that have surrounded the holiday of Christmas. Starting right from the beginning, kind of early on, as Christians were starting to become more of a thing and more
Was this
and more.
about 7,000 years ago?
Yeah, it's about after Jesus rocketed down to Earth in the asteroid that created the planet.
Is that how it happened?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't read the Bible in a while, but yeah. So, but they were early on. They people wanted to have a celebration, celebrating the birth of Christ.
Yeah.
But a lot of theologians were like, "Nah, that's never going to happen. No way," because it was considered a pagan ritual to celebrate birth.
Okay.
And they said we can't have, because they wanted not just celebration of Jesus, but like of other martyrs' birthdays.
Yeah.
And they were saying, no, you celebrate a martyr on the death, like to honor when they went on to glory. You don't celebrate their birth on earth. That's a pagan ritual. And so that's why Easter existed long before Christmas did.
So I'm confused. Why is celebrating a birth considered pagan?
I don't know. Probably because the pagans did it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
All right.
probably it. Yeah. But then in 221 is one date I have where a guy named Sextus Julius Africanus first chose December 25th as the date. And obviously because, there's a bunch of other celebrations around that date and on that date. Specifically, it was the Die Solus Invictus Nati, the day of the birth of the unconquered sun. So basically, it's a winter solstice, like celebrating the sun's return. There's also Saturnalia around the same time, same idea.
So the whole thing was an amalgamation of other things.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the traditions and stuff. So again, that's going to make some theologians upset that.
And when was this exactly?
So this was in 2021 AD. And then it wasn't until 340 AD that Pope Julius I fixed that as like the official date for the church and marked it as like a holiday that the church kind of could celebrate.
Right.
It wasn't a huge holiday at that time still, but it was, kind of a thing.
So it was a Roman thing.
It was a Roman thing,
which is a lot of Christian traditions came out of the Roman whole conquering, and then rather than they were forcing people into the religion, but they were also assimilating a lot of local traditions,
as it moved too, because as Christianity moved, there more and more cultures that they kind of acquired had solstice celebrations. So Yule was one. Still have many holdovers from that. A bunch of other kind of solstice celebrations. We just kind of picked and chose what we want to keep.
Well, the Romans were very good at taking over places and having people be like, you know what, it's not so bad.
Yeah, the Catholic Church has always been good at that too. There was, I don't have a date for this one, but there was a town where there was an angry thing. He lived on so there's this town called Whoville, and there was a Grinch who lived just north of Whoville, but he didn't like Christmas. But yeah.
So that all took place on a snowflake.
That all took place on a snowflake, yeah. So it's hard to pick a definitive time when that happened. But that was a fight for Christmas. Mm-hmm. At one point in the 1700s, when they changed from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, a lot of people were upset because that moved Christmas 13 days back. And so that's why you still have many people who celebrate Christmas on January 7th. Like all of Russia, a lot of Eastern Europe.
January 7th.
January 7th it's called Old Christmas. So it's still, that's December 25th in the old Julian calendar. So they didn't want to move the date for some reason, even though I think most people know it's just an arbitrary date.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing to it as far as like, so that was a kind of another point of contention. And then the big ban of Christmas was in the 17th century until the early 18th century, and that's when Christian Puritans just wanted to ban it outright, because by this point Christmas wasn't...
This was in England?
In England and New England.
And New England?
Yeah.
It was kind of a crossover between the two.
Yeah. But at that point, Christmas was more like Mardi Gras. Christmas, it wasn't like what we think of now, where it's just kind of a family holiday where you sit around opening presents and stuff. It was like a week of debauchery and sin and drinking and giving into your lustful desires. Yeah, and that was banned until like 1840 or something like that. And it wasn't until 1870 that Christmas actually became an official holiday in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Christians were the ones who have traditionally, more Christians have been against Christmas than anybody else up until kind of this point. But you know who saved the day that time?
Who was that?
Charles Dickens.
Oh, Charlie D.
Yeah, because when he wrote A Christmas Carol, it kind of made people feel nostalgic and want Christmas back, and they kind of morphed it into what they thought Christmases used to be like. And that's
kind of hearkening back to what it used to be.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't.
Yeah, really? Exactly. And then Victorian era is when, Santa Claus started really becoming a thing. Christmas cards became a thing, and Christmas carols became more and more popular, and it really became part of the mainstream and really became this important holiday. Yeah. Whereas before it was just kind of, around, but it was more of an excuse to get drunk. Like it was like the St. Patrick's Day of the time, we didn't. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking up something because when we were talking about the Puritans banning Christmas, I think the first time it happened was during the interregnum, was it not? With Oliver Cromwell.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah. So
because I do know a bit about this stuff.
Okay.
And I just wanted to clarify when that was. So yes.
Yeah.
So that was after the death was it the execution of Charles I?
Yeah.
And then when Charles II came back, because everyone's just like, oh my God, these Puritans are a pain in my ass.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to do anything.
Oh yeah, I know. Can you imagine like that being your life? Is just everything's wrong and everything is a sin and no thank you.
The funny thing is that the preferred solution is a monarchy.
Yeah. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Charles II was a pretty cool dude, so
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
paraphrasing. Back to it was the St. Patrick's Day of winter.
Yeah, it was the winter St. Patrick's Day, and then it became more of the family holiday that it is today.
How much did Coca-Cola have to do with that? I know they had a lot with the modern thinking of Santa Claus.
Yeah, they did, but not as much as people think.
Oh, no?
Yeah, no. The image they used kind of changed it a bit, but mostly it's like the same as it was on a lot of Christmas cards and in a lot of malls and stuff like that.
Because that was mostly like an amalgamation of some European traditions, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There was the one guy who'd come in and he'd like take the bad children in a sack.
That's Krampus.
Krampus, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so Santa would come for the good stuff, and then Krampus would take the bad kids. Yeah.
And then my people, the Dutch, have Sinterklaas comes from them, the name Santa Claus. But they also have Black Peter, which is
I've heard of Black Peter, yeah.
If you ever look up pictures of that, that's terrible.
Okay.
It's just people in blackface.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
College Humor does a really good video about this, but the pooping guy in the nativity scene.
The pooping guy in the nativity scene.
I don't even remember what countries they are.
There's a pooping guy in the nativity scene?
And it's like a Christmas tradition to have somebody in the nativity scene pooping.
Is that to show how like humble and everything those beginnings were, kind of thing? Is that he was
kind of, but they don't really know, because like in their tradition, nativity scene wasn't just the manger. It was, they would do like a full town of Bethlehem.
Yeah, and
there was always just one guy pooping, and they think it was just originally put in there as a joke, and it became like such a popular thing that one mall had a giant just pooping man in the middle of their mall.
That's pretty great.
For their Christmas display.
I like to think that the first time it happened, it was just like someone who was loitering in the mall just pooping.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, no, the College Humor video is just like him trying to get through weird Christmas traditions around the world, but he's like, I can't get past it, and he just goes back to, it's a guy and he's pooping.
That's pretty good. Did you know that? Sorry, I keep going back to Santa Claus because that's what I know most of.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is in the Marvel canon.
Really?
Yeah, he is a character in their kind of timeline.
Oh, crazy! Yeah. Santa Claus was also. I thought they were going to put him in the canon of Doctor Who, and I was actually kind of mad. And then it turned out 'twas a dream. So
you were mad that they were going to have Santa Claus in it?
Yeah, that they were going to have Santa as like a character that actually exists in this world. But it turns out it was just some aliens who sucked onto your head and made you dream.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Rick and Morty, those parasites,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the 1920s. Henry Ford.
The car guy?
The car guy was very worried that the Jews were taking Christmas away from the Christians. He wrote a pamphlet called The International Jew, the World's Foremost Problem.
This is an interesting little sidebar that I want to go on here. That a lot of the people who founded some of the biggest companies that we have today were extremely bigoted, racist, religious people.
Yep.
Such as Henry Ford, such as Dr. Kellogg, the guy who started Kellogg's.
Yeah.
It was an asylum, like a mental institution, and
he wanted to call them Sandy Flakes.
Yeah, because it was something that they believed would stop people from masturbating.
Yeah, and he was really big on circumcision because he thought that would take down
yeah. So if you eat cornflakes, it's because your parents wanted you to stop masturbating.
Yeah. That's true.
Probably.
That's why my parents, they told me, though, this is so you stop masturbating so much.
Yeah, that's why Frosted Flakes, the frosting counteracts the anti-masturbation.
Right.
So it makes you want to do it more.
Or it evens it out.
So you're just neutral?
You're neutral.
Okay.
Yeah. Neutral good?
Neutral good. The
thing is, there was some Jewish people fighting, Christianity being taught in public schools.
Yeah.
But they weren't trying to get it replaced with their religion. They just said, these are public schools, so we don't want this.
That's another thing. A lot of people argue why can't we teach this? We need to have. I know in the States it's a lot more about equal representation of subjects.
Yeah.
When we're talking about things like creationism versus evolution.
Yeah.
I get why they think it's important, but at the same time, it's just like you, as the parent who want to instill these values, you take your children, I assume, to church.
Yeah.
And you live a certain lifestyle in which you follow these teachings. So why can't you just give them that education there and allow the school system to be secular and teach everyone on a kind of level playing field here?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, so I think it was the 1930s. There was a boy named Ralphie, and he really wanted a Red Ryder BB gun.
Oh, yeah.
But his parents were worried that he would shoot his eye out. His mother was.
Did he do it? Did he shoot his eye out?
He shot his glasses. He broke the glasses.
So good thing he was wearing glasses.
Yeah, but he just made up that he tripped and broke the glasses so they wouldn't lose the BB gun, and that worked out for him. And his dad ended up buying for him without talking to his mom about it. So, that was a neat little part of history.
What year was that?
I think it was the 1930s or 40s.
It was that long ago.
Or maybe it was the 50s, because I feel like they made that movie about it in the 80s, but maybe it wasn't that long ago.
I'm not too sure.
And the movie came out in 1980. Okay, in the 1950s, after the war, there was religion kind of peaked, and pretty much everybody was Christian.
Post-war?
Post-war. Like, just a lot of people were going to church, like, more than had ever gone to church before, and...
Do you think a lot of that was a lot of people coming back from war and kind of being like, well, thank God we survived?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to know how many people were like on the front lines. Like, if I make it out of this, I'm going to be in church every Sunday.
Yeah, and so as a result, a lot more of the nativity part of Christmas began popping up in public displays and things like that. And so there was kind of a fight against that. And then as soon as people are fighting against, religious displays in public, then, Christians can get mad. So there was some fighting there.
It all comes back down to that whole xenophobic idea that we're being phased out.
Yeah, exactly.
I was listening to an episode of This American Life the other day, or last night actually, about they were talking about like immigration.
Yeah.
About how a lot of the immigration reform is affecting it. And there was one part of the story where this is in Kansas.
Yeah.
Where this woman went and asked one of these guys who's very against immigration. This was talking about asylum seekers and refugee people. So people who are coming into the country legally.
Yeah.
And they're following the process and they're trying to assimilate and they're trying to become American citizens.
Yeah.
And the whole time the guy's just like, I don't believe they exist. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't believe them. He's like, but they're here legally. He's like, I don't believe that. He's like, I don't think they're real. So it wasn't even that he disagreed with what was happening, is he couldn't even come to accept that these people are real and that they're actually just trying to better their lives.
Yeah. There was another This American Life about a small town in Alaska, like far north in Alaska, that wanted to pass a law like basically welcoming immigrants as like just a gesture to like kind of side with some of the towns and like in Arizona and stuff like that were trying to fight against like terrible immigration laws. And so like they wanted to pass it as just a gesture, but they knew that they're northern Alaska, they're not getting a lot of immigrants.
Yeah, it's not.
And then the town went insane, like protests, like no illegals here and things like that, and it's like nobody's coming. Like you're fine.
Yeah,
there's no
But I mean, even if they did, it's not gonna change your life in drastic ways, like people seem to think.
Yeah,
for the most part, those people don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And if you don't want anything to do with them, you don't have to.
Exactly. Yeah.
You make these problems yourselves, like all the time. Like I find it mind-boggling that you think that someone else being in the same proximity as you is all of a sudden going to radically change who you are as an individual.
Yeah, exactly.
And your identity.
Well, and so throughout the 70s and 80s too, you get a lot of people like upset that their elementary school can't have a nativity as part of their school play, and they can't sing overtly religious songs. And it's like it's a lot to do too with the fact that you have people coming from different cultures who have different backgrounds, and you already get 2 weeks off for Christmas. It's the only holiday they really celebrate as a school like that. Like just celebrate at home how you want.
And I gotta say, I was getting real sick of listening to the same shitty songs year after year.
Yeah.
You know what song I really don't like?
What's that?
Little Drummer Boy.
Oh,
hate that song. So dumb.
I love it.
So long.
Just
so
because
boring.
Of The Office.
So annoying.
Yeah, it is. I hate Last Christmas. I know it's not a Christian one, but Last Christmas. I hate that song so much.
That one's kind of funny.
Have you heard Christmas Shoes?
I might have.
Okay, I thought about doing it, using it for a Christian rock lyric, but I found a crazier one. But Patton also does a really good bit about that, and just about how it's like, I'm having a bad day at Christmas, and then I saw a kid whose mom was dying of cancer, so I bought shoes so that his mom could have a gift. And it's like, and then he's like, I knew God put that kid in my life so that I'd have a better day. It's like, really? So God saw that you were having a bad day, and it's like, not on my birthday. Like, gave this kid's mom cancer so that you could have a better day.
So you
like,
give her shoes to feel better about it?
Yeah.
How would you feel? I don't think I would feel better about that. If I gave some like cancer mom shoes, I'd be like, well, I've done my part.
Yeah.
She's still probably going to die.
Yeah.
And that kid's going to be alone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super sad. So then in 1994... Oh, yeah, so in the 1980s, they passed some legislation along with, like, the creationism in school things, kind of just helping, like, you know, push this stuff out, this religious teaching, and so that caused some uproar, too.
Yeah.
So in 1994, Santa Claus fell off a roof, and
I heard about this.
Yeah, Tim Allen had to put on his clothes, and then he ended up having to become Santa Claus. So that changed a lot. And then a few years later, Jack Frost tried to steal that away from him. So that was kind of a rough time for Christmas, but he was able to save the day. So that was good.
Well, I think around 94 was when Tim Allen kind of stopped doing a lot of big TV shows.
Yeah, because he was
too busy
doing Santa Claus.
Claus.
He was able to record Toy Story from the North Pole.
Well, I mean, you can do that easily.
Exactly.
Enough. I'm sure he's got a studio up there.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And then in the 2000s, that's when Bill O'Reilly started using the War on Christmas and started
was it Bill O'Reilly who started
he's really the one
popularization
who
of that
rhetoric?
Okay.
Yeah, and made it just like he'd just bring up anything that could possibly make people angry. Like there was one story about an elementary school that changed the lyric in one of the songs from Christmas to festive, but also sang just he concentrated on that, but didn't point out the fact that they also sang like legit Christmas carols.
Yeah.
And so they just changed the lyrics in one song, or just used a version of the song that had one lyric changed, and he went up in arms about it. And yeah,
that's this different but similar. They slightly adjusted the Canadian national anthem recently,
and people were so mad. Yeah.
There's 2 points I have to that.
Yeah.
One, who cares?
Yeah.
2, I don't remember the last time I've actually heard the lyrics to the national anthem. It was probably in high school.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. For me, it was, I think, the last time I went to a Blue Jays game.
I may be there, but I wasn't listening anyway.
Yeah.
I think the whole idea of this national anthem patriotism thing is a bunch of groupthink, brainwashing bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think it's great. You can love your country, but you don't have to be a mindless drone.
Yeah, exactly.
Sing this national anthem.
Sing the national anthem at the Olympics because you won a game, just like you'd cheer.
The Olympics makes a little more sense because that is a representation of the country, correct?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're doing like a sporting event in North America.
Yeah, and it's just a blind patriotism.
And then that's back to the whole kneeling during the anthem.
Yeah,
thing
exactly.
Too. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah. Do you remember Josh Fierstein?
The name's familiar.
Yeah, he's the one who was one of the big guys who was angry about the Red Cup, and he was the one who went in there and said that his name was Merry Christmas, so that when they called out,
they had to say Merry Christmas.
They had to say Merry Christmas. He's like, I got them good.
The thing is, okay, as a Starbucks employee, as a ex Starbucks employee, Trevor, you can appreciate this.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit what you put on your cup.
Yeah, it's true.
If you want to put fart face boob sweat, we probably won't say it, but we might.
Yeah,
we don't care.
And another thing too is your Instagram pictures of people spelling your name wrong. We don't care.
No.
You got your drink. That's the whole point, is that you got your drink.
The thing about that too is they always say like they must be doing it on purpose. You're in a high volume store.
Yeah.
People, you can't hear people half the time. People mumble. You ask for it and you can't understand, or you're writing it quickly and you just misspell it.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
That's all there is to it.
It's not like some nefarious plot where people are trying to, they're out to get you.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
People get upset about the dumbest things.
Yeah. It's so dumb.
And then I get upset about it. You dummies.
Yeah, you dummies. Yeah, I guess every time that a mall decides they're going to do something besides a Christmas tree this year, people get mad. Every time like a parade happens to not have, a church group with the nativity scene, people get mad. Or like it's, I don't know. I think my overall message is don't get mad. Just spend time with people you love and buy them gifts.
The thing is, they're not stopping you from doing any of this stuff at all.
Yeah.
No one's doing that.
Yeah.
You can do this as much as you want.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't think there's enough nativity scenes in your neighborhood, put up 3.
Put up 3. Exactly. Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to your church where they have a nativity scene. Yeah. So many churches do.
Fox News was so funny, too. Like, there was one where some town put up a festive pole, or their Festivus
like a Festivus? Yeah.
And she's like, I'm driving around, I'm looking at nativity scenes, and I have to explain to my kid what this pole is. Like, why are you driving around looking at nativity scenes? And why does your kid care that there's a pole there?
I would just think it's a pole.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, that's a shitty flagpole.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is just like, how am I supposed to explain to my son about gay people?
Yeah.
It very, very easily. Yeah. Very simply.
Sometimes people love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, God forbid you have to talk to your shitty kid.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, isn't that your job as a parent, is to explain things to them?
No, your job as a parent is to like instill the same values and prejudices you were taught,
and to breed them in order to do the things that you weren't able to do.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah,
and then live vicariously through their accomplishments.
Yeah. Exactly. Any other thoughts on Crimbus?
I had something about the Bill O'Reilly stuff, but I can't remember what it was now.
He's a perv.
He is a perv. Yeah. We were talking about how he... Oh, that's back to the... I keep going on these, like, sidebar tangents that are tangentially related to these things, but I feel are kind of underlying causes of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Again, it's the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that's caused a lot of... That's the whole thing, like War on Christmas, Bill O'Reilly, that kind of thing.
You need things to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to be angry because people watch when you're angry.
And it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you got to have people interested, and you got to have something for them to talk about. So, I mean, if you can fill 16 hours of the day talking about how Christmas is under attack...
Yeah.
When it's not.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people are dying in the streets.
Exactly.
Because of real life problems.
Yeah.
But nobody cares, so.
Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous.
So Fox News and CNN and all of them, really.
Yeah.
As much as you want to say one is better than the other, they're all doing the same shit.
I think the best cure for all of this, if you ask me, is to buy some wine. Mm-hmm. Play some nice Christmas music, or not if you don't like Christmas music, just some nice music. Light a fire, or use that Netflix crackling fire thing. Bake some food and have your family around, and or your like you can hire a family. Yeah. You can pay people to come and hang out with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just spend it with people and turn off the news.
Yeah, just spend it with the people you care about and you like and you want to hang out with and do stuff with, and nobody's stopping you from celebrating this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, should we hit the Christian rock lyric of the week?
Let's hit the lyric. Ho, ho, ho. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Can't you see you're not making Christianity better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
This is a song called Where's the Line to See Jesus?
Oh, there's a line. Oh, is this because of the line to see Santa?
Yep.
Okay.
By Becky Kelly.
Okay.
Christmas time was approaching. Snow was starting to fall. Shoppers choosing their presents. People filling the mall. Children waiting for Santa with excitement and glee. A little boy tugged my sweater, looked up and asked, "Where's the line to see Jesus? He's here. Is he here at the store? If Christmas time is his birthday, why don't we see him more?" As I stood in amazement at this message profound, I looked down to thank him. He was nowhere around.
What I like about this song is that rather than owning up to these ideas as their own stupid idea, they pawn it off on a small child to try and get our sympathy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the kid doesn't give a shit about where Jesus is. They don't care. And you know where the lineup for Jesus is? Church.
That's right. Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Yeah, when you line up for communion, you put his body into yours.
Santa gets one day.
Exactly.
Jesus' birthday.
Yeah.
His unofficial birthday.
Yeah, maybe it's Santa's birthday too.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. There's a meme somebody posts every year, a painting, I guess. Somebody posts every year of Santa bowing at the manger.
Bowing at the manger.
Yeah, and praying to Jesus at the manger.
I don't think I don't think Santa is a religious person.
No, he is. He's Saint Nicholas, right?
But I don't know if the Santa that we know now is.
No, I think he's
I think at one point, I think he was definitely born from a religious tradition.
Yeah.
But I think the real war on Christmas is the secularization of it that has just turned it into a commercial holiday.
Yeah.
And I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
As a secular indoor person, I love secular Christmas.
Oh, and that's another thing too. People always get upset about the term Xmas, but X is just a Greek symbol for Christ.
Yeah, well, that was a more Christian way of saying it, was it not?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of time, even during crucifixions, they would use the cross, like they would use it like an X.
Yeah.
Was that because they wanted it to seem less Christ-like as respect for him, or was
Maybe.
I can't remember. There was some reasoning behind it. I know there's certain churches.
The story is that
too.
Peter was crucified upside down because he didn't want to die the same way as
is that why?
Christ. But I don't know. I don't know any of that.
Maybe he just wanted to. I don't know why the first thing I thought was pee in his
Peter
own face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's probably very offensive to anyone who actually believes in that.
Yeah.
So. I will leave it in.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
That's fine.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Whatever you believe or don't believe. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't believe in Christmas. I like the time hanging out with family and friends. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what?
Exactly.
Love is love.
I like to put on my elf costume.
That's right. You do like to put on your elf costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll post photos of that in the show notes. Thanks, everyone.
And I guess we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff.
Bye.
Work, Sky Moon.